And we welcome you back. Apologies for the issues. We're running through some technical issues today, but at the moment they are resolved, and it looked like that, Peter, the Trojan fans were not going to miss much out there. A couple
really
punts
not,
by
no.
both teams, but then all of a sudden we might have just had a game-changing play 1 minute ago.
We did. We got a touchdown from Justin Sienna, and they got the 2-point
Justin Sienna?
I mean, I'm sorry, Napa Valley here, and they got the 2-point conversion, too, making it an 8-28 game.
Yeah, Kalani Posey goes 50 yards down the sideline. Petaluma had, they'd stopped all those big plays. The potential was there, but finally they break through.
They do. Hopefully this isn't a consistent trend that's going to happen for the rest of the game here.
Yeah, certainly they have the ability. This is only a 20-point game. Don't look now, but they can come back. Butts takes the kickoff, returns it to the 35, and all the energy's on the Napa side. And Napa has stopped the Trojans 2 straight possessions. They stopped about a 4th down. We saw the punt before. Suddenly this Napa defense seems to be making this Petaluma offense look a little human.
They do, yeah. I mean, they've definitely been picking up on the plays here, reading them a little bit better, but you never know what could happen here.
Team that won 3 games last year was 1-3 in the Monticello Empire League. It would be a new low if they can't win one, but trying to come back. Good move by Pomey, and he's got a 1st down, so the Trojans using their backup fullback, and he gashes the Napa on their first play. A 10-yard pickup for Pomey. He was mostly focused on defense, with 241 yards coming in today for the running back. 47 carries and 30 yards per game. A touchdown in response here would be huge by the Trojans. You want to answer the momentum, right?
That's right.
And maybe an opportunity here for
Freitas.
Freitas
Running down
the sideline. Will they catch him? No, they will. Touchdown, Trojans.
Simply incredible. Simply incredible.
Garrett Freitas answers the momentum strike by Napa. That has to be a heartbreaker. The Napa cheerleaders go down and drink their cold cup of water. It's got to feel cold right now. 34-8. Freitas delivers a gut-wrenching blow to the Grizzlies, who look like they were right back in this as he takes the toss, and they just couldn't catch him. Too much speed.
Too much speed.
Too good. Garrett Freitas.
When you can't answer him, he just explodes on you.
2nd touchdown of the night. Freitas has been special on his senior night once again. He's certainly gone over the 100-yard mark now. It's been a good one for him. Aggia boots that one through the uprights, and it is 35-8. We did have the first half stats for you, and the stats tell a story of domination. 294 yards for the Trojans in that first half. Only 52 yards for Napa in that first half. Obviously, they get the big play there, but before that 50-yard run, they had maybe 70 yards. Now just over 100, but, I mean, dominance by the defense. They only average 1.7 yards per play. So the Trojan turnovers, even the only reason was maybe only 28-0 in that first half. And taking a look at some player stats as well, Prieto 122 yards, 8 carries in that first half. Freitas actually went for 106 in that first half as well. So he had a big day, and Newton really struggled, 5 for 12, only 26 yards, and Bowers leading the Grizzlies in that first half at only 17 yards on 3 catches, and Hoggia with the catch for 21 yards, leading things receiving-wise. So that first half was certainly one of the Trojans rolling. Salyers led Petaluma in tackles in that first half with 4.
Another
Squibber by Hoggia, dangerous. Well fielded, a little sliding catch a la baseball there. And it is 35-8.
7 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter.
Now, how about that answer? Spoiler alert in case you are taping the Dodgers-Brewers game. But speaking of baseball, the Brewers are leading 6-2. We might have a game 7 tomorrow to decide who's going to face the Red Sox in the World Series.
Oh, the Red Sox won, really?
The Red Sox clinched last night, yeah.
Thank God, yeah.
It was exciting. They defeat the Astros in 5 games. So the Napa offense back out there after their first touchdown. Maybe they've gotten a rhythm going, but it had to be hard. Their defense couldn't step up after they had
And
for a little bit.
screen pass
Nice
to number
screen
11
pass. They finally found a little bit of a rhythm. Diego Oliveira, who had 8 catches for 76 yards last week against Casa, got 7 yards on the pickup. Newton was hit hard on the pass, and he comes up limping a little bit. Trojan defense hasn't forced any turnovers, but they have been good tonight. They've been clean. We haven't seen penalties from them, and they come in with 60 penalties, 458 yards overall for Petaluma. They've been sloppy at points. 3 sacks tonight, had 6 coming in on the year. It's been a complete game for them. And only 5 returning players that were starters on this defense. Really young.
Yeah, I mean, and they've done well this season, especially here tonight. They did that 1 touchdown slide through, but it's been a very good job by them.
Posey up the middle. Remember, he was the one that scored the touchdown that you just missed. Other games in the VVAL tonight. Vintage with a victory will clinch a league title as they take on Sonoma Valley at Memorial Stadium. Here's another screen. Breaking more tackles. The Grizzlies move down the field and down to the 36.
Petaluma defense kind of crumbling here, but hopefully they can regain their stance.
And it also has to be hard for the team to keep up the motivation and keep on playing hard when you're comfortably up here. I mean, no matter how focused we are, and we talked about it, it's hard to keep it going.
Definitely, yeah.
However, there is holding here, so that's going to bring it back 10 yards and nullify that screen pass. 6:17 remaining here in the third quarter and 35-8. And it is all Vintage against Sonoma Valley. They lead 49-0 in the fourth quarter. So congratulations to the Vintage Crushers, much as our VVAL football champion.
Truly crushing the league.
They did, Peter, indeed. No.
You can search for another battery. I don't really know.
Posey again, so they've tried with their touchdown man. He picks up a few, but it's going to be 3rd and long and errors again on the tackle. Another big night for him. A couple more scores around the North Bay. Cardinal Newman all over Maria Carrillo, 55-10. Interesting one that could impact Petaluma in NCS Division III. Miramonte leading Acalanes 27-14. Nice tackle by Freitas, who's been kind of surprised that he's played more defense here. Risky that he's gotten hurt, but he is playing more defense. Tackle made on Bowers. And that Miramonte-Acalanes game has a big impact on Petaluma, Peter. NCS so big for teams. Trojans currently ranked 10th in NCS Division III, and that would match them up against Miramonte.
Very cool, yeah.
Trojans played Acalanes last year in NCS, and Acalanes currently ranked 5 just like last year, but if Miramonte can pull off that victory, that could really mix around very tight standings. Newton, the pocket collapsing, dives forward, gets a couple, but it's not going to be enough for the first, and it's going to bring up a key 4th and short. This is last gasp for the Grizzlies, isn't it, here?
It surely is as we wind down the third quarter here.
And Napa's penultimate game, and they're not going to be able to make NCS as a Division I team, especially one that hasn't won a game. Ranked 851 in the state. They go up the middle. Did they get it? A late dive might just be enough, and the spot looks like it will be. The Trojans made an impressive 4th and 2 stop earlier, but this time Napa moves the sticks and kind of keeps their hopes alive. Mentioned that Acalanes game last year. Trojans hung around the Dons, played well with that good 8-2 team. Finished 400 in California. Fell to Acalanes 63-25, but it was close for the majority of that game. The score doesn't tell the whole story. Newton looking downfield. Candow in coverage. Excellent play by the senior John Candow to break it up. Garrett Freitas gives him a high five. Secondary's been good for the Trojans tonight, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has. Good job on the defense here, too, as well.
Yeah, limited Noon looking downfield, and he's had to look for short slant passes, and there just hasn't been that much there. De La Salle will remain undefeated. They leading San Ramon 48-7. We'll try to get you the American Canyon Casa Grande score. That's a big one on the east side. 2 senior nights here tonight in Petaluma. It's a big night for high school football. Posey to the right as he continues to work. He picks up 5. and it brings up a 3rd and 5. The Trojans take on Casa Grande in the Egg Bowl next week. Once again, we'll be live. Should be our final live stream. We expect the Trojans will be on the road for NCS. Currently ranked 10th, but there is a little bit of a gap between 8 and 9. But if they win 3 straight, you never know what the committee will say. Nice tunnel screen pass. Might just be enough for the first, or it's going to be awfully close. The NCS playoffs will be the week after the Casa Grande game, so either on November 2nd or 3rd. And home or road, wherever the case, will certainly provide full coverage of that big NCS game. And then if the Trojans win that, the quarterfinals will be on the 9th or 10th on Veterans Day weekend. And I did correction, I said the Egg Bowl started at 2. It starts at 3 p.m. Hand off to Posey, nowhere to go. Mariano Armamillo, the 5'5", 155-pound senior in the backfield. He's one of those players. He was on JV last year. Steps up, and he's been such a huge player on this varsity team. Armamillo, 9 tackles, a sack, a fumble recovery coming into today. And he was, a junior on JV, but he has stepped up and proved he is a very worthy senior, one of the 24 being honored here tonight. Candow, another, makes the tackle on Posey on the pitch, and the clock continues to tick away and certainly not be the Grizzlies' friend with 2:24 and counting remaining in the 3rd. And Napa leading 35-8. We do have an injured Trojan on the field. Freitas kind of got your hips up Gipley, but it's Pedersen who made the tackle, and he's hobbling off. That's not what you want to see here with the Egg Bowl next week. You definitely want to remain healthy.
Yep.
They got to be at full strength for a Gauchos team that might also be coming in with 3 straight victories if they could beat American Canyon tonight. But they have been running at all facets of the game, and Trojans in some regards have played one of their most complete games of the season, especially in that first half. One of the better first halves they played all year long, both offensively and defensively. Really put it all together. Blitz is picked up. Newton's got a man. It's Bowers. Down to the 15.
Not
We'll
enough.
rule the 14, and that is just enough for the first down. Well, Napa's pieced together a nice drive here, and if your head coach, Tom Petahomey, who's picked up this struggling program that fell apart 2 years ago due to the hazing scandal, you just wonder where this offense was in the first half. So 1st and 10 at the 15. Head coach Rick Christ, who's been the person of stability for Petaluma as the head coach in his 9th year. Posey out wide, nowhere to go. Pedersen in on the tackle, another big game for him tonight. Head coach Rick Christ, 49-35 overall here in his 9th season. He was 29-18 in the Trojans' 8th season in SCL. And he took over a program that after Steve Ellison retired, the field for which he is named is now Freitas is gimpy. Uh-oh. Well, they got to get him out. This is why I question him being on. And he looks like he's running off, but there's a little limp. And if you're head coach Rick Christ, you do not put Garrett Freitas back on the field the rest of this game. I mean, he cannot be hurt for next week.
He certainly cannot. He'll be deciding. I think he'll be the deciding player in that match.
Absolutely, that could be the difference. Speaking of Rick Christ, took over in 2010 from Steve Ellison after being an assistant. And the first couple years after Steve Ellison retired were a struggle as Napa's going to get their 2nd touchdown of the night. Bowers on the end around. That was a well-run play. And it was a long drive, but the Grizzlies are able to punch it in for 6. But Coach Chris built this team up. They only won a couple games their first couple years, but 2015 probably his best year. They finished 8-4, including going to the quarterfinals of NCS. Probably should have won FCL, but the Fail Mary against Annalee that year. And then the controversial no whistle in the NCS quarterfinals against Rancho Cotati. It was 4 years ago when the current seniors were freshmen. They want to go for 2, but they don't have all the players out. Newton yelling. Try to get his whole O-line out there. Want to make this 16 and make it a 19-point game. At this point, though, they're just point chasing. You do the math, that doesn't really help them in any way. But they will get 2. Nice comeback route. Posey in the end zone. 35-16. 1 minute and 19 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And back on us, please. This is not over just yet. The Petaluma offense responded again. It feels like maybe one more time would be the final knockout punch. Credit to the Grizzlies. They're hanging around here. They're not getting
Yeah,
up.
they are definitely making a comeback, but Petaluma is also scoring a lot of points here. So
Yeah.
it's going to be an exciting final quarter here.
Yeah, Grizzlies made a couple stops, but it kind of felt like that all game. They've made like 1 or 2 plays, and then the dam bursts again. There's so many threats on
Really?
this team, and offensively all year long they
Yeah,
have been
both
really
teams,
good.
yeah.
Back on the field we go. The Trojans averaging 26 points per game, 305 yards per game, but really that's lowered by the vintage game against the good Crushers defense where they only scored 7 points and barely went over 100 yards. Last year, 43.8 per game, but that's largely because of SCL. Pedersen fielded it and certainly had a chance to. Not sure what happened there. He looked like he was down, and then suddenly there was still more movement on the field. Well, he takes it all the way out to the 50. Whatever the case there, an excellent return by Pedersen in good field position for this offense. 418 yards per game last year, but it's largely because they played in a really bad SCL last year and racked up a lot of points. It's hard to compare this offense to last year, team that lost 22 seniors from last year. Was certainly excellent offensively. Jacob Ralston, another running back, really complimenting Freitas. But Prieto's turned into that Ralston-like player. Speaking of Prieto, he'll get the handoff and fight his way for a hard-fought yard or two. The Trojans will be happy to run down this clock. The clock is their friend, isn't it?
It is here.
Powers has played a terrific game tonight as well, hasn't he?
He certainly has. Yeah, he's had that touchdown, I believe, right?
Yeah,
Which-
2 rushing touchdowns
Yeah.
tonight, yeah. Yeah, he's used his legs, he's managed the game. He's not been the star because that's not what's needed in this dual option and triple option offense. Prieto, however, has been a star and he breaks more tackles and he'll have a first down, 11-yard carry for the senior running back. What a game tonight. Down to the 30. And the Trojans hoping to close out a victory. So we head to the fourth quarter and go to 6-3 on their season, but back-to-back victories as well, something they've only done once this year. It's been a lot of back and forth inconsistencies. Putting together a full game has been tough, but this has been one of the closest we've seen. Slant pass, oh my goodness, a hard hit. And lucky just to see the Trojan receiver get up. It was Robbie Izetta, a senior, who doesn't get as much playing time, getting some action. Or Silversi basketball player who took some punishment on the slant pass. Schroden's trying to punch in another one and put away this game. There's not going to be a running clock in the fourth quarter. You need a lead of 30 or more for that to happen. We have movement on the line. It's going to be a penalty on Napa. They've shot themselves in the foot too many times.
They really have this game, yeah.
It's a sign of a team being 0-4 in league, 0-8 overall. You're going to make mistakes, and there've just been too many issues at times tonight for them. 10-man set for Petaluma. They give to Pomey. He's had a nice night tonight. Running the football, he surges forward. Napa gets some offense going in this third quarter, but so far not enough. The Trojans moving the offense efficiently, running down the clock, and feels like they just need to put this one away in the fourth quarter, but they're in command for a very satisfying victory tonight.
I mean, they are.
Yeah, there's not much more you can say about it. It's been cut and
really
dry.
are,
It's been smooth.
It's been, good job by them, both teams, but especially the Trojans.
Yeah.
Definitely pulling out here with their offense and running game.
Yeah, and senior night's been a lot of fun to see all those seniors get out and get honored. And compare this atmosphere, though, to next week. And it was a trap game. It was a sleepy game here tonight for a lot of this game. The atmosphere was not as exciting as it has been. But the Egg Bowl's going to be different.
It definitely will. It's going to be high tension there.
Yeah, should be high tension. We expect pack stands here, pack stands there. We're going to be out down on the track for that game. I'm hoping that we will not get murdered by any angry Casa Grande fans, but we are on their side, so we'll see what happens. We might need to get security guards. I don't know. But 3 o'clock kick for that. That's going to be so much fun. Two teams playing so well. Later in the season, I like it a lot better later in the season. Last year was the fourth game of the year for both teams. I don't feel like the teams had fully developed. Back on the field, please. I don't feel like it wasn't the best game for either team. It was a 21-14 victory, a little sloppy. Both teams are playing their best football right now.
Yeah.
That is the markings for a classic next Saturday. Screen pass, but it's overthrown, and Butts runs after it. You got to watch that being a backwards pass, but they'll rule it incomplete. So 3rd and 5 from the 30, the start of the fourth quarter here, and the Trojans can add a little more. They can get some of those seniors out on the field for very likely the last time here at Steve Ellison Field, at least the last time under the lights here on a Friday night, with the Egg Bowl always traditionally being a Saturday game. Trojans ranked 500 flats in California, 7,082 in the United States. There's a lot of football teams out there, aren't there? Slant pass is dropped.
That's unfortunate. Looked like a good play there in the making.
Yeah, good pass by Powers looking for his wide receiver. Ryan Ramos, another senior Trojan, getting some more action. Did have a terrific special teams play against Sonoma, but unable to make it. 4th down, you could send Hockey out for another 38-yarder. He's kicked a couple of those for his long, but looks like Trojans trust. Oh, I'm sorry, he's 3rd down. So you think about 4th down in their next play, but Trojans want to put this one away, and it's not over just yet. The 3-possession game, but one more score. Back to make it 4 possessions. Certainly be over. This is Connor Pedersen surging up the middle, finding his way through tacklers all the way down to the one-runner run by one of the senior captains on this team, Connor Pedersen. Even though Pedersen listed as a wide receiver, 114 rushing yards on 30 carries coming in today, and he's averaging 14.3 yards per game. He's similar to Freitas. He's got great speed. He's an electric player. Fun to watch.
Definitely, yeah.
He'll be dearly missed here. And as much for his play, as much for his spirit and leadership. He's one of the funnest players to, that's not a word, one of the most fun players to be around, whether it's on the field, in practice, or in the classroom. I have him in econ, and it just makes economics that much more interesting. Surging up the middle, touchdown, Trojans. It's Powers into the end zone. An anticlimactic score, and the Trojans have basically put this game to bed. 2nd touchdown of the night for Powers on the quarterback sneak, and it puts the Trojans to 41-16 in this blowout against the Grizzlies. And I want to give credit again to the offensive line. They have manhandled this Napa defensive line, and they've had trouble being physical this year. That's so vital in football, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, it's a physical sport, so it's
Petalamu's not the biggest offensive line, but you can be bigger by heart, can't you?
You can. Ooh.
Well, the first PAT missed all this season by Petaluma. August kicked this block. That's something to watch next week. So 41-16, 11:20 remaining in the fourth quarter. Well, we've kind of teased it all night, and I think it is now time to get into it. This Napa High program looking like they're going to fall to 0-9 and not win a game this year. And this was a powerhouse program, a team that won the Monticello Empire League. They beat Vintage 12 straight years. They were the dominant team in Napa, but it all came crashing down 2 years ago.
It did, yeah.
2016, a staff member at Napa High School, and just to be advised, this subject matter is slightly sensitive, so if you have any young ones in the room, they might be time for their bedtime. But in 2016, a report was sent out by a Napa High staff of abuse on campus. Police did a report, and it blew up in November of 2016, just weeks after that season ended, as this kickoff is brought out to the 42. With 11-12 remaining in the fourth, and Napa trailing by 35. That's where the offense will start. So 2016 was the report of hazing. However, based on the report police did, they interviewed 15 victims, 15 players on both the JV and freshman football teams, and they found that hazing was pervasive, it was ritualistic, and it was a real concern. There was sexual harassment, there was sexual abuse. It was primarily JV football players that were disturbing actions, disturbing abuse to freshman players, and there's tradition in some level of hazing, but it was very clear it was way too far and out of control in the program. They investigated 17. They found 11 victims. It was often done close before the big game against Vintage, which is added big rivalry game as well, and it really blew up this program. The coach back then, Troy Mott, who was the winningest coach in their program history, was there for 11 years, decided to resign in March 2017. They actually didn't fire him. The incidents were actually on the JV football team, but maybe in another interesting decision, they actually promoted the JV football coach to the varsity team. Now, the lawsuits that have been fired have not been against either coaches. They've been against the principal, the athletic director, and an assistant coach was fired and actually spent some jail time because he apparently knew about and did not report the abuse. So that's a Title IX violation.
That's really unfortunate for Napa.
Up the middle, Newton, a couple yards. But overall, 6 of those JV players back in 2016 were criminally charged. 5 of them were expelled. But in another bizarre twist of turns, some of them were overturned by the school board.
That's incredible. Crazy story and a real shame that happened.
And it was a bizarre situation, especially as it went on. Many players, as there looks to be an injured Trojan, many of the Napa players, they said they weren't even there. There were clerical errors. They have no responsibility in it. So that is somewhat why they got turned over. It seemed like it was happening, but it was just very much not well handled by the school board, by the football team, by the high school. And what was a horrible situation that certainly deserved accountability was made that just worse and also very much decimated the football program because it was handled so poorly.
Right, yeah.
And last year they had the JV coach was their head coach. They went 3-6, 1-3. And this year they decided to move on. I think really wanting to transition from that ugly era, and obviously kind of had to restart anew and tear down the whole program when something like that happens, similar to what you could see happening at a college level, obviously on a much bigger scale, much more extreme at something like Penn State. But that is somewhat why the Napa program is here, why they are, and it obviously just very disturbing what happened in the environment that can build in a high school environment if coaches, players, administrators, and others are not taking account and making sure that everyone is getting supported right.
Right, yeah. It's a true shame though what happened there.
Absolutely. We don't have a number on the Trojan injury, but actually it's Napa. And not
75.
Not a good-looking injury either. Struggling to walk. Trojan trainers out there to help them. No, but some of the hazing scandal, and then we mentioned the name change in Napa, and then just firing their principal on Wednesday. It's been very tumultuous times over at Napa High. You might think it's been tumultuous here at Petaluma with obviously the situation at the graduation speech.
Oh yeah.
And also the one-day strike by the teachers with talking with the school board, but it has been nothing compared to what Napa has been through, and it's definitely hurt their football program. But it's also important, I think, that you clean things up and that you make sure that everything's right. And if the football team has to suffer because of that, then that is warranted.
Yeah.
Blitz brought here. Good pass by New now. Wide Cando makes the tackle, but it's a first down for the Grizzlies, and they continue to chip away and move the football. They've continued to battle. They haven't put their heads down, and they've continued to fight, and it's what head coach Tom Petahome, who they hired him in June. They were a very late hire, which put the whole team behind. Hired him late, and totally out of the system, was coaching at Wood. in Vacaville. So it's been trying times for those reasons for this program. The screen out wide, and Dio Oliveira in on the tackle. And so there's a couple other Trojan seniors that are making their way out there and getting some time. Well, most of the starters remaining out there for head coach Rick Chris, and certainly they played well, and you want to continue that. How about that tackle? Charging up the middle. I don't know if he was unblocked or just bypassed everyone, but Nick Zambita, the starting defensive tackle, another tackle, the 6'3", 215-pound linebacker, has been terrific tonight. Tackling LaRue, and Zambita very good, as I think someone's got a bullhorn in the student section now. Zambita, 10 tackles last year. He's been on this varsity team 3 years, so even more special night tonight, all the varsity games he's played. Newton on the quarterback keeper, hasn't done that a lot tonight. And it's Palmy in on the tackle. Whole coaches along with the help. He has a sack tonight. Another seniors had a big night, and a lot of the seniors have stepped up and played terrific. On what is turning to a very chilly Friday night. It was a beautiful, beautiful day.
It was.
So it was a picturesque, sunny 80 degrees. But it is starting to cool down now, late October, as we get towards the end of the football season. Napa now down to 30 as they pick up the first down there. No running clock, so those that will remain will have to wait out this Friday night. Some other fall sports also wrapping up. The volleyball team season ended last night on their senior night, falling to Sonoma Valley. Ball is on the ground, and the Trojans have recovered the football. Well, Petaluma has forced a turnover in every single game they have played in their defense, and they were at risk of breaking that, but not the case. Matt Salyers recovers the football. His second fumble recovery of the season. The 6'1", 240-pound junior who was called up for NCS last year, a talented two-way player. He's the junior captain. He's been terrific, and he gets rewarded. A junior stepping up on senior night. He helps take the ball away from Napa, which I think is something nice for a defense. It's getting a little bit worn down by Grizzlies attack that's been better here.
Definitely have been, but they've been putting up a good fight.
Yeah. Interesting to see if we see Jack Hartman at all. Tony Mogul came in garbage time last week against Sonoma Valley to play, with Hartman hurt. And now a must snap, and Powers just has to fall on it, or did he not fall on it? No, Napa recovered the football, so the Trojans give it right back. The third turnover tonight. They had 3 against Sonoma Valley. There's not a lot you can be unhappy with. That's the one big thing that you circle on there, isn't it?
Sure is. Turnovers can decide this game.
1st and 10 now from the 36, and Napa will get another shot at it, just like they were a minute ago. Good job by the Petaluma cheerleaders tonight. They provided some good spread and a terrific performance at halftime as well. They'll miss some of their seniors. They're also getting honored on senior night. They were part of the ceremony. Noon scrambling out, getting chased by a parade of purple jerseys. He's taking out a couple-yard gain. How many viewers we got, Cameron? I appreciate everyone tuning in. Feel free to, again, leave any comments in the live chat.
Yeah, of course.
Tell us where you are, where you're listening, or any other thoughts or ideas or questions for me or Peter.
Yeah.
We live fascinating lives, so, I mean,
You know
questions
it.
would be interesting. You're going zip lining tomorrow, Peter.
I am going zip lining. Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Now, that is exciting. I'm not sure I'd be willing to go zip lining, but the screen pass and tackle by air is pick up of 1. Is the zip lining up in
I believe it's Occidental,
yeah.
Westminster,
Yeah.
like up there.
Was lovely area. Love that area. Yeah, it's terrific. Zipping through the redwood trees.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time.
Well, we'll see if Peter makes it back alive on Monday, but hopefully it's a terrific time.
Yeah.
How fast do you go on a zip line?
I have no idea, Griffin.
You've never been on one before. Well, this is your first time?
I think it is.
That's exciting. Posey the screen pass a couple more yards. It was a new Trojan in on the tackle. It was number 68. And we're searching on my spreadsheet for 68. And Johnny Johnson, it was 88. My eyesight
4th
betrays
down,
me.
8 yards to go.
Yeah, so Napa's going to go for it on this fourth. May as well.
And
Terrific
they
tackle.
make it.
But just enough for the sticks. Good route by Posey. You want to run right to that first down marker. Turn around, pitch and catch. That's what they do there. Much better, much smoother half. And maybe there was some pressure on Napa. They felt like they didn't want to go 0-10. It would be a disappointment to the community. They value sports so much in the Napa Valley.
They do.
And they've been disappointed with the team. There was some talk that one of the reasons that they fired their principal on Wednesday was because the football team struggled so much.
Wow. Do you know why they fired the principal, though? Like, what the driving factor behind that was?
I mean, definitely all the controversies have not helped.
Oh,
Newton surges
Newton.
through the middle, and he's got a touchdown for Napa.
Making this.
Well, much better second half, as we said, by the Grizzlies. They're likely going to outscore Petaluma. And it couldn't play a complete game tonight, could the defense, but credit to Napa for fighting, and there's some danger on this offense, and they've shown it. The student section, which is probably numbering about 30 now, is strongly disappointed, but they are bouncing up and down. They believe that they can win. Show the student section. Well, Napa's going to go for 2. Oh, now the student section is stopped. Napa's going for 2. It's out of your picture. It's Noonan scrambling to the right, and he's brought down for a loss. Excellent coverage by Petaluma. John Kando in on the tackle. Noonan on the QB sneak. Trojans were reading it. The lead stays at 19. That would have made it a one-possession game, even if they just gone for the, or no, it would have not. It would have been a 17-point game. So pretty inconsequential. We'll see if Napa try an onside kick here, maybe. May as well.
I mean, maybe, yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's not been a defense that's been able to stop Petaluma most of the night, so that might be your best bet at getting a stop here. Who are those fine folks?
Those are some family friends.
Oh, how lovely. They've come out to watch you live on TV.
I mean, they must have, yeah.
Oh, Peter Canale's fame is growing.
I know, slowly but surely, Griffin, slowly but surely.
Well, what's it like to walk in the hallways and have people call your name?
It's interesting. It's an experience. I haven't had much examples of it yet, but you know. You're the man on the TV.
Travis Brayton is the kicker for Napa. He's got a little more action here in the second half.
Nice kick
And
by
onside.
Bears here.
Instead, it goes out of bounds. That's the last thing that you would want if you're a Grizzly fan. They'll be gurring all the way back home. It'll be soon time for hibernation after an 0-10 appearance for this Napa football team.
The game isn't over yet. They've been pushing strong.
Well, I guess-
There's always the possibility of them coming back.
Do have to take care of the football. Get 3 turnovers by the Trojans. Hasn't been started. All the starters are still out there.
Clock hasn't moved for a while now, so.
Coach Chris has called this game really brilliantly. They've worn them down, and they've gotten aggressive when they needed to, and it's caught Napa off guard. It's Connor Pedersen in the backfield. Senior Cole Powers under center. Terrific game for Powers tonight. Pedersen's got a hole, surging through it.
And brought
An
down.
excellent tackle, except it's a horse collar. Maybe a smart horse tackle because it saved the touchdown. But brought down at the 37. They're going to tack on 15 for the horse collar tackle. Pedersen showing the speed. He almost looked like Freitas there.
Almost.
A senior, another wrestler, and he's one of the best wrestlers in the whole North Coast. He
Really?
finished 3rd in NCS last year in his weight class, or 4th in NCS in weight class. Just missed out on state. Really hoping to make it this year. Speaking of the winter sports, that actually officially practice open today for that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, good luck to all your wrestlers out there.
Feels like winter. We have a wrestling team looking to win their 3rd straight league title now in the VVAL. The girls' soccer team should have a shot at a league pennant, and so should the girls' basketball team. They returned a lot of their
Yeah,
players.
it's going to look like a good season here.
Yeah,
for
winter
the
sports.
Trojans.
I mentioned this last night on the volleyball stream. Most excited, I would say, out of all 3 seasons when I was looking over what
Peterson
teams were
here.
going to see.
Pedersen.
Yeah, Patterson getting a lot of action here, grinding his legs. Down to the 12. We will not have live interviews, but we will have interviews after the game, so you can check those out on our daily morning announcements, live at 8:30 every weekday morning. And either Peter or yours truly will be bringing it to another Napa player injured and jogging off the field. It's been that kind of night. Jesus Pimentel it's been even though it's probably a smaller Petaluma line than Napa, the Trojans have won the line play. And some frustration, too. We just got to kick water ball. Patterson breaking another tackle, trucking a Napa player into the red zone. First down as well to the 9. It'll be first and goal as we're under 7 to go. Trojans looking to add another touchdown to their repertoire tonight. It'll be Spirit Week next week, all week long. The lead up to the Egg Bowl. I believe it's Surfers and Skaters night on, or not
Day.
Day.
I believe so. Monday?
Monday?
Yeah. I know Tuesday is Sports Day, Griffin.
Oh,
That's our
is it?
day.
That's our day.
It is.
Prieto a couple yards up the middle. Hard fought yardage tonight for Prieto. He's had a big game, about 150 yards at least, including the opening score. He went 65 yards for the house. Big night from the senior. Trojans will get some other options in there. Ryan Ramos will re-enter the game. The seniors practices a lot. It's hard. You practice a lot, and you don't get that much playing time in the game. But these moments can be ones you can remember.
That's right. That's what senior night's all about.
Bowers with the audible. Patterson in motion. He fakes. That was a broken play. Napa read it. Well, they drag down Powers for a loss.
Good sack by Napa, I guess.
And a couple yards are lost on the play. The band has departed for the night. They'll be marching in Santa Cruz tomorrow. Mentioning some of our fall sports volleyball teams. Tough season comes to an end. It was a tough year. A lot of 5-state losses for a young volleyball team. But girls golf, they took the VVAL title. What a year they had.
Undefeated, I believe, throughout the entire season.
Historic first league pennant ever.
Yeah. Really good job by them.
Yeah. First
Wait,
straight league
that's-
pennant over the middle. Oh,
no.
it's dropped. Oh, that's going to be in the dreams of Garrett Gehrig tonight. He had a
disappointed
touch.
he was.
He had a touchdown on senior night, one he could celebrate, one he could remember for the rest of his life. It was in his hands.
But then it wasn't.
That one's got to hurt for any fan. Gehrig has just one catch on the year. It was on a 2-point conversion. The backup tight end, 6'3", 170 pounds. Also varsity baseball pitcher. But he drops it there, so that means that Daxton Hoggill will have a chance to redeem himself after missing an earlier PAT with a field goal. Hoggill 5 for 5. Field goals this year. This one pretty short. One high snap. It's a fake. Freitas looking in the end zone to no one. It's intercepted. Napa trying to take it out. Instead, I think they are dragged down at the 1, so they'll be in the shadow of their own goalpost. I actually saw them practice that play in practice, and they pull it out here.
Wow, that's impressive. Good for them.
Yeah, Coach Chris talked about against Sonoma putting out all the stops. They really wanted to try everything, and they definitely tried trick play there and maybe test that out later, but it did not work. And Freitas has now thrown 5 interceptions of the season. He has more interceptions than he has pass completions. He only has 3 completions, but they do love the trick play to Freitas. Just his arm is maybe not as accurate and as great as the rest of his game.
Right. And the Trojans seem to be crumbling here. They're...
Oh, that might be a strong word.
That might be a strong word. Maybe they're slightly crumbling.
Yeah, well, if Napa can drive 99 yards, it can make the Petaluma fans sweat if it wasn't about 40 degrees right now. Napa up the middle for a couple, but the clock will continue to roll down. All 3 timeouts for the Grizzlies. If they want to push, they can play hurry up, spread it out, take a shot, but they only have one big play. It was the Posey 50-yard scamper for a score. Newton the give to Posey. It's wrapped up at the line. Not been a lot of room to move Trojan defensive line tonight. It's Sports Day on Tuesday for Spirit Week.
I believe so, yeah.
And I know Friday, of course, all out purple. What's the rest of the week?
I know I think there might be
They're like rival.
a beach day might be in there.
A beach day.
I think we already had that, but we might have it again. I don't really know. Check with your local ASB friends. They will tell you.
Yeah, we'll also have it on Trojan Live on Monday. So
Of course,
You'll be
yes.
all set. Newton throws across his body. It was an impressive-looking throw, but the catch wasn't made. It hit the ground. Olvera diving, but unable to get it. Napa trying to encourage on their team with a couple cowbells, but it's all for naught. Incomplete.
Cowbell.
Third down. No, you always have more cowbell.
I would argue, I would beg to differ, but you
Really?
know. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, the cowbell.
I feel like it's a good motto in life that you can always have more cowbell.
See, but like, what if you way down bell the cowbell?
Well, you don't need the cowbell around your neck. You just shake the cowbell. Beautiful music. Posey.
Getting through the pocket, having 3 Trojans take
Yeah,
him
there's
down.
a pocket full of Posey, you could say. And he's out to the 35. Now the clock's down to 3:29. It stops while they reset it. And Napa has continued to fight and battle. Impressive for a winless team. And they have found some openings in the Trojan defense. Posey's been really good. They primarily were going with LaRue at running back in the first half, but it's been Kalani Posey, the 5'11", 169-pound senior, in his penultimate game of his career. He's played well. Newton on the design quarterback run, but there's nowhere to go this time until he breaks a tackle, gets a couple more yards, and is pushed out after a 7-yard gain. Good fight by Newton. It looked like nothing was there. Matt Salyers, who recovered a fumble earlier this quarter, forces him out. Stops the clock at 3:01 here in the fourth quarter. I mean, don't you agree that the cowbell is it's just a valuable instrument?
I see, but there are better instruments. There's my argument. Like, why use a cowbell when you can use a not cowbell?
Like what?
See, when I think of something, I'll tell you.
Alright.
How triangle? No.
The triangle over the cowbell. Please tell us what you think in the live chat. Triangle or cowbell?
Like,
What do you think? Our Cameron Grant directing right now. What do you triangle or cowbell? You're on with the triangle?
Cameron's a smart man.
Nick Ayers was the man down, but he's able to get up under his own power. That's someone that the Trojans will badly need. He's been the best player on defense again tonight. And he's just a terrific player, but he will walk off. Who's Alex going with? Triangle or cowbell?
Wait, Alex, what was that again? Triangle.
I need some support from our viewers about the brilliance of the cowbell.
I
think one of the best things in
I'd
our
hardly
society.
call a ball in a box brilliance.
A ball in a box. You are simplifying things. A triangle is a metal triangle, and that is all. It's geometry, and there's nothing worse than geometry. Newton is trying to give a headache. He's dipping and darting and shimmying and shaking. And that would have been quite a shake
You hear those
in your
shameful
geometry
cowbells
class, and the cowbell rings. Newton picks up the first down. One of his better runs of the night, 15 yards. Crane forces him out, one of the backup juniors out there. The Grizzlies move the ball again. It just hasn't felt like they thought that they have any chance. They've kind of waved the white flag by not really rushing down the field.
No.
The offense has been so good in the second half. You
They
would have
really
thought they
have.
get a chance. They do have a man open, wide
Big
open,
man
and
is
down to the
tackled
10. It's Diego Oliveira. First long pass of the night for Newton. The secondary's been terrific. The Grizzlies score here, get the 2-point conversion. They're down 11. They are going to still need 2 onside kicks. But we've seen crazier things, like 3 people deciding a triangle is better than a cowbell. Newton. Miscommunication there. He throws it onto this beautiful new track. And a big advantage we're going to see in winter sports with this artificial turf field. The rain's going to come in about a month or so. Soccer teams normally, they would have to go over to the east side and play on the turf fields there. Not going to have to worry about that.
No.
It's all-weather turf. They can play in a monsoon if needed.
Hopefully that's not the case.
Yeah, we definitely hope for no monsoons.
That would be bad.
We've seen a lot of crazy weather.
Yeah, climate change is a thing.
Yeah, dude, I expect to see grizzly bears and Trojans fall from the sky.
Yeah, hopefully not though.
Newton, fade in the end zone. Broken up. Excellent defensive play.
By number 8, I think that
Number
was.
4, Tony Mokel, the junior backup cornerback, free safety, who got some action at quarterback. The talented athlete overall, NCS triple jumper. Able to break out the fade route. So 3rd and 8 from the 8. So 3rd and goal. And certainly 4 down territory. Probably, though if you do the math, and this is just simple math, no geometry, it would be a 15-point game, and that is a 2-possession game. But you would certainly prefer the touchdown down here. Newton in the end zone, overthrew it. And again, good coverage by the Trojans.
Going to 4th and 8 here, 2 minutes.
Patterson and Gianni Johnson in on the coverage. Gianni Johnson has been a huge factor stepping up for Garrett Freitas at corner. He has an interception. He started every VVAL game. He's really helped. So it does look like the Grizzlies will go for it. We thought they were dead, but the fat lady hasn't sung just yet. This is the last gas, though. She's warming up right next to stage and ready to stride on if the Grizzlies can't stop it. But before that, we have whistles and a timeout. So the Grizzlies call a timeout before this key moment here. Has anyone in the live chat contributed to our cowbell triangle discussion?
No,
I'm telling you, everyone.
Make sure
Cowbells or triangles, it's our question to you.
I don't.
You have
I
the
hardly
power.
call it a question, Griffin. It's obviously triangles.
I don't see why. I mean, I just
I
don't.
mean, there's the beautiful sound that triangle, that lovely
What is
symphonic.
it? It's this loud, like, jarring sound.
How is that not a cowbell?
Cowbell is majestic.
That's not-
It is loud, but it's a majestic
Would you
loud.
call-
It's annoying to the other team, but beautiful when you score because it's so beautiful to you. And when you have a million cowbells together like they do at Mississippi State at Starkville, it's music. It's something special. Back on
wow.
field.
All right. There you have it, folks.
Well, 4th and 7. This is the ball game. Newton.
and
broken
it's
off.
Broken off.
Excellent play again by Tony Mokel. And the fat lady can stroll on stage and sing her chorus. I bet she'll have plenty of cowbells to support her as well. And
Griffin, you
Petaluma can
disgust
take
me.
over and run out the football. 2:04 remaining. JV team played earlier, and they could not keep up with a good
Excuse me.
Napa JV team. They fall to 4-5 on their season. And with wrapping up with the JV Egg Bowl next week, they're 1-4 in VVAL. Their only victory last week against Sonoma Valley. Well, the seniors will be able to go on top here on senior night. That's always a big thing. And
Yeah.
back-to-back VVL victories, first time in school history.
Wow. Yeah.
So another milestone. Trojans wanted 3 straight victories to finish the season, but certainly the most important one is next week. But they've done their mission so far. Powers on the QB sneak. That started at the 7,
Clock
maybe gets
slowly
an
ticks
additional
down.
1 as we tick under 2. But we'll see. 3 straight potentially. They go into NCS with lots of momentum. But in the end, the game next week will be close to defining for what happens. The Egg Bowl just so vital. Are we getting waved at?
No, Alex is
he's
dancing
having
for
fun.
us. Yeah.
2nd and 12 from the 5. Want to thank Alex, Fabian Davies, and Cameron Grant directing and filming our broadcast tonight in this chilly late October Friday night. Trojans up the middle, and they've gotten some of the backups in there, and a little opportunity here. Pick up a couple more as the clock ticks towards 1
minute.
Once again, the Egg Bowl will be live, 3 p.m. And we expecting a tight game. We're not expecting that we're going to need to talk about cowbells and triangles next week.
I hope we don't,
tight.
because it will
It should be a classic.
clear by then that triangles are far superior.
And we'll see, but I am hoping that we might have one of our largest viewerships ever for a live stream. All the community members that can't make it out should be here, but it is really a full community event as Petaluma again just handing it up the middle, clock running down. They will need to take one more snap. And it's really a community event. There'll be food. There'll be a lot going on. Last year was the first time it had happened in 5 years, so it was really special. But to have it at Ellison Field just adds as well to everything that's so special
And
about it.
what a game here at Ellison Field that ends 41-22.
Yeah, the clock running down.
Simply spectacular.
I thought they had to call one more play, but it does not look like they're going to have to. And the Trojans will get a back-to-back VVAL victories. The final score here from Ellison Field, it's the Petaluma Trojans 41. Napa Grizzlies 22. Wasn't the best effort in the second half, but overall they played spectacularly in that first half, and you have to be pretty satisfied with your coach Chris, as the Trojans go to 3-2 in the VVAL.
Yeah. And one quick reminder before we turn off the stream that triangles are in fact
Thanks, Peter.
better than
Colton
cowbells.
Prieto leads the Trojan rushing attack, but Garrett Freitas was certainly good. Excellent job by Powers. He really managed the team at the quarterback position. Nick Ayers, big defensive leads. The teams shake hands. Napa falls to 0-9. The Trojans 3-2 in the VVAL, 6-3 overall new season. Once again, one final time, it's the Egg Bowl. It's our next live stream. It's 3 p.m. kickoff, and we will be live. Casa Petaluma. It should be a thriller. Both teams are playing at the top of their game. One of the more complete games of the year, offensively and defensively, by the Trojans tonight in their victory here on senior night over Napa. For Griffin Epstein,
And I'm Peter Canale.
and along with Cameron Grant and, oh, that's gone off. Along with Cameron Grant and Alex
Fabian
Davies. That's going to do it here tonight. The final score, one final time, 44-21. The Trojans get
Stay
a
epic.
senior night victory. Good night.
That was